helping my wife, for one, through a hip surgery and the initial injury at first and stuff. And over the past several months of getting her back, I caught up in this people pleasing mode. I can't get out of it, and it's conflicting in relationships or just life in general right now.
Welcome to Taste Your Magic. I'm Ruth Barclay, and this is our YouTube channel. I do work around the world. They call me the Oracle. This is a name that's been given to me from the last 25 years, working with horses and animals and people and all kinds of different energies. And a gift that I have is that I can be placed into what you're experiencing and gather data and bring it into translation better for you. So I can communicate to about anything that wants to communicate. So today we're doing readings, and that can consist of oracle readings, which is anything about you or loved ones who have passed on, or angel connections. And we also do animal communication. Did I say that? I can't. I've talked so much lately. So these are always so fun though. But today we've got Ray with us, who I absolutely love. He's pretty much, him and his wife, part of our family now, definitely part of our tribe for a long time. And thanks for coming on.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy that you're here. And do you have anything I could support you in?
Well, I guess my big question is I seem to have locked myself into a box.
Okay.
Helping my wife, for one, through a hip surgery and the initial injury at first and stuff. And over the past several months of getting her back, I caught up in this people pleasing mode. I can't get out of it, and it's conflicting in relationships or just life in general right now. So that's my big thing that's plaguing me right now, is just how do I get out of this and move forward still in my power again.
Yeah, you and Luana have been quite through a lot just through your whole life anyway. You both have been there, one up, one down, one up, one down, together in different growths. I mean, you guys have really traveled through quite the lifetimes together.
We have.
And
we have.
His wife was on. One of them also, Luana, she did really awesome also. We were really happy she came on. There for a little bit, if I remember right, you were ready to soar and start to build things and create things and sell things. And
Yes.
you were coming to some of the retreats and the events and just really shining in your gifts. And Ray's got kind of a connection with the natives. He's got a musical past, and so he's also able to really connect with the musical benefits of the native side as well.
Yes.
Are you still making flutes, or is that something you'd like to get back into?
I play the flutes.
Okay.
Is what I do. I have an entire collection of native flutes, and I try to play daily, actually.
Oh, good.
And from the heart.
So you're trying to find how to get out of the box.
How to get out of that box.
Yeah.
When I was doing that, I'm a rock hounder. I collect, we sell crystals in our business. And so it was not only supportive, but fun and crafty. And I've got all the machines now to do everything. And then when Luana got hurt, it's like, well, she's my salesperson. So it's like everything came to a halt. I've got all the inventory. I've got all this wonderful stuff. And now I'm not creating anymore. And my role changed to helping her get back to health. And this has gone on over the last probably 4 years, actually.
With the health.
With her health, yes. She's finally getting back to Q, and I'm finding myself still stuck in this mode that I don't want to be in.
Yeah. Well, we as people have a certain energy that hangs out with us. And this energy, in it wanting to be recognized in ourselves, we start to play it out in others. we start to be pulled in a role by somebody, or we pull others into a role. And so you keep being pulled into a role where you're halting your creative side, your expression, to be able to support someone else, right?
Yes. Yes.
So in this, when you put a halt to yours and you give to another, what do you see is that benefit? What's the belief benefit? If I halt mine and I kind of stay here and I give the energy here, what is the belief that starts to happen with that? Like, why?
If in that mode, it's love, it's charity, it's things that I think we strive for if we try to live from the heart space.
Yeah.
I fill it out quite easily. And that is the reward end of it, if you will,
Yeah.
being able to do that. But at the same time, when you get a moment to look at, per se, an instrument that isn't getting played, or like the rock machine's not getting used, then there's in the back of your head, that's when the slowdown starts, and maybe even depression or anxiety,
Yeah.
because you're not able to just jump back and forth.
Yeah. If you think back, and we're just kind of talking on this energy that's kind of hanging with you a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's pulling you into roles. You're finding somebody to help other than that, right?
Yes. Yes.
And what happens to the love, the compassion, the charity work when you choose otherwise?
I think it's still there, you know. I mean, that doesn't, it's not part of you that leaves, but it brings a happier me, obviously, because I'm in my place. I'm where I want to be, serving me.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a happiness there, sure. And it's a good feeling. There's a positivity, there's a creativity that starts to flow in the brain, there's energy, there's everything that goes with it. And you eventually start to love yourself again. That's the problem when I think I'm out of loving myself. Yeah.
Okay, go a little bit more. We're gonna keep uncovering you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, what happens if Ray is happy and others aren't? What does that mean?
Wow. That's a good question. What happens when Ray is happy and others aren't around him? Sometimes, or actually a lot of times, Ray will go back into the serving mode.
To get back with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, if Ray is happy and in his own mode, what does that mean he is if they're not being happy or served, but Ray is?
Well, I'm within my heart space. I'm loving me. I'm taking care of my desires, my needs, my passions within my energy. I'm clicking.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a belief that is trying to stop you from being happy. And so if you can go in just a little bit more, maybe when you were younger, maybe there's an incident where you finally got in your groove, you were going really good, you're happy, something was going on. It was any age. There'll be an age that will kind of come up for you where you're just in your groove, you're enjoying yourself, you're happy, you feel the love through your body, and then somebody else around you is not happy and there's a conflict that happens. How old are you in that?
My late teen years.
Okay. And you want to share a little bit in that moment what happened?
I think what happened then is I was old enough to branch out on my own and see the world as I wanted to in short bursts. Still at home, but the disagreements between family and parents had reached the point where they had just like, okay, do what you wish.
Yeah.
And so, I had wheels and I could
Head out.
head out. Yes, I could head out. And so I was always raised, even as a child, with two wheels and a motor. So, yeah, I had a Honda Chopper in high school. And so that became the wind in my face, became my happy place.
Good. what makes Ray a good person in that when Ray is serving somebody else?
I think that once again, that would fall back to childhood and mentality there. It's serve others, it's
Serve
how you
others.
were raised. So that mentality was kind of ingrained in me. And it's not something I really mind, I guess, but it
Makes
can,
you a good person.
sure, in my
And you want to
mind.
be a good person.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
What would make Ray a bad guy when he is enjoying himself?
A bad guy in that respect would be maybe to just ignore my wife or a close family member, my kids, when they desperately needed it. That, in my mind, would make me a bad guy.
Okay. So then, how can you move into a space where you're serving you and loving who you're needing to love, who you're wanting to love, without denying yourself in order to be a good person? Is the
Yeah,
question, huh?
that is a good
Okay.
question. It's a challenge almost, in a sense.
So if you become a bad person when you get really far into what you love and it's finally giving all that you want, because all of a sudden the others, the needs are being ignored or claimed to be ignored or whatever it is since you've been growing up, right?
Hmm.
Makes you a bad person. How can you allow yourself to view the good parts of you doing that? This is getting really tricky. So, what I want you to do is I want you to visualize Ray serving himself, enjoying himself. Okay. And now, what I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself, is he a good person?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
So, now visualize Ray serving another person, loving them. And what makes him a bad person in that? Anything?
No, no, no. I was going to say time, maybe.
Time. Because then you're denying yourself,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So, what if we take the labelings of good and bad away and we allow you to start to see the steps that you can take to just do the good that you love and the good that you love? So, what I want you to do is I want you to go in and I want you to ask yourself, what am I scared of in investing myself in myself? What is the number one thing? Show me the number one thing that I'm scared of if I invest in myself, if I give this to me.
The very first thing that came up is argument.
An argument.
Argument. Too much time spent or not in the presence.
Okay.
And it's just trying to be cohesive once again.
Yeah. So then when we have these energies around us and we're giving to these other people, a lot of the times it's because we want ourselves to give it to ourselves. And so, how are you arguing with yourself when you start to give to yourself?
Or is this really, am I taking too much? Do I deserve it? Kind of a thing. Should I take this much time? Because I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's time to stop now and go to outside of that and see if everything's okay or check my surroundings.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
When you start to feel that, what I want you to do is I want you, instead of allowing yourself to think of all of the controversy that is coming up, because you probably feel the tension starting to come, whether or not it is already, or that part of you, that belief of I'm going to ignore somebody if I dive in, I'm going to ignore the needs. When that starts coming up and this energy starts to pull you out of it, I want you to ask that energy, what do you need? Okay. So in this moment, we'll do like a little quick one. You're enjoying yourself, and then all of a sudden you start to feel that anxiety, that panic of, oh no, is this too long? Is this too much? Right. And now go ahead and just take a minute, and I want you to ask, what does this anxiety need? Not what does the person need, What does this part of me need?
This part of me needs to, I'm thinking needs to really understand that what's going on when I reach that or do that, it's in my head. No one's saying anything to indicate anything
Yeah.
to that. So what's going on is all of a sudden, and I think in my mind there's a guilt, and I need to relieve that guilt and say, all right, take a few extra minutes,
Yeah.
do what you're doing, enjoy it, have fun, and go.
Yeah. So then when you feel this guilt, you're noticing, okay, I've got it in my mind. It's working because there's a guilt that's coming up. And then I want you to ask that guilt, what does it need?
Reassurance, love, probably from me. Is
Well,
my guess.
probably. But now when it says, I need reassurance and I would like to be loved in this moment as well. And in that, I'm seeking to, because I know a good person that gets love goes and serves somebody else
Yes.
in need. And right now, I'm needing that. And so, what I want you to do now is ask, who do I need this love from? Who do I need this reassurance from?
Typically, my wife is
Okay.
where that first
And
comes
if
to
she
mind.
can't give it to you, what happens?
Sink.
You
That
sink.
sinking feeling, yeah. It
Okay.
just drops.
Good. You're doing good. So when you sink, what does that depth need from you?
At that point, I'm
Just ask it. What do you need from me? What do you need right now in that depth? What does this depth
some
need?
kind of reassurance.
Reassurance again.
Yeah, it always falls back to that.
And the reassurance means,
It just means what I'm doing is okay. It's all right to do my craft. It's all right
yeah,
to take these moments to do whatever it is that I enjoy.
yeah. And in this craft, what if in this depth you don't get that reassurance? Now we're going to go a little bit further. Okay. What happens if you don't get that reassurance, but you keep going?
If it goes on too long, I just drop what I'm doing.
What happens to you in your life if you don't drop it and you keep going and you don't get the reassurance?
Anxiety.
Anxiety.
Yes, because I will stay a minute or two away from it, even when I have time, say the following day.
What's so bad with anxiety?
What's so bad with it?
Yeah. Keep going. Keep going. You're doing good. It's going to feel a little weird talking about this.
What's bad about it is everything. I mean, it impacts anxieties, just it draws you down. It lowers your vibration. I lose my center.
You lose your
Literally.
center.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. What is so bad about losing your center?
Oh my gosh, it's the low vibration. If you're not on center, you're either above it at a higher vibration or you're
Down.
down at that lower vibration, and the lower vibration is darkness.
Yeah. Okay. So what's so bad about the darkness? I want you to keep going down.
The darkness is just lack of life, luster. The deeper you go, the worse it gets.
And so then what happens if you're lacking life?
What's the point of going further in life if you're that, you know, everything just, and you get judgmental, very judgmental.
Okay.
So
So what is so bad if you don't want to keep going in life? You ask yourself.
I ask myself, why am I here? Why am I doing this? What's the point?
What is the point?
What is the point?
At that lowest part of you, the part that's not sure if it even wants to be here, what is the point of your life? What does it want?
It just wants to go back to where it was.
You're doing so good. What does that mean? Go back to where it was.
That means finding the way, finding the light, finding anything that, and I look at it sometimes when I am down to that point, I'm just starving for any little bit of thing that made me happy back in any of my memory at all. And at
Yeah.
that point, memory's hard.
So you want to come back to feeling life,
Yes.
feeling life.
Yes.
So we'll go ahead and get down with that part of you that is asking, what's the point of living? And it says, because I like to feel life. Or is there something else?
Yeah, the total opposite of feeling life, that would be not feeling life. We don't know what that looks like, obviously.
We're asking
Death.
these parts of you.
Parts of me. I don't know what that ultimate choice looks like.
And so you're scared of death.
I'm scared of inflicting death.
There you go. Okay.
I'm not afraid of death.
So what does ask that part that's not ready to die, but is teetering on the death? What does it want?
Just wants to feel and go
back. You
go
keep
back
saying
to
back.
where life was.
Like feeling
Good about yourself again.
Feeling good about yourself. What's that like? What does that feel like?
To me, it's simplistic because throughout my life, I've done so many things and craft oriented
And what does it
building.
feel like in you?
So inside of me, it feels like I need to reapproach. I need to touch
Like you
nature.
feel like a pull, like a drive feeling of life.
Yeah,
Like,
there is a drive. It's a slow drive.
can you feel like your breath more? Keep going with describing what it feels like when you're being pulled back into that life, that what you're wanting.
When I'm coming back into it, it's just an amazing feeling. For starters, I will exercise. I'll do breathing exercises. Grab a flute. I start looking at things around me that I've ignored, and suddenly it's like I want to use them or be part of them or be part of it.
Okay.
So
You're wanting to be part of the living life experience.
yes.
And that feels good.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
Good. Okay. So go ahead and just breathe that in for a minute. And wherever your hand wants to go, okay, doesn't matter. I want you to just allow yourself to realize that you want to be part of life, that you enjoy living in life. Keep breathing that. Okay. And so to keep these breaths of life, these vibrations raising and rising, and the pulls and the motivations, and who even Ray is here, right? Is life. Ray, as a human, as a being, a breath, is that of living. So when you get into these boxes, you narrow it down, down all the way to what's bad, what's this, what's that, what makes good, all the way down to if you basically lost everything you're fighting to be good at, or the energy that's pulling you into this box, right? Of I'm only good, I only get if I do this. You go all the way down into the depth. And when you find it, Ray wants to be part of life. And that feels good. And if you keep doing that and you actually take this step, just as long as it needs to, it can be just spurts, right? Then you're going to build that trust back into yourself. You're going to prove yourself what it feels like. And you're going to be able to exercise living life, because your loved ones also want to be part of that life too. You want them to be part of that life.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yes.
And so that's what, as we've kind of dropped in to Ray in this box that he sinks into, he just wants to be part of life. It doesn't always have to be this or have to be this or have to be this or have to be this. He wants to be part of life. He wants to feel life. He wants to take actions in life. He wants to be relevant in life as feeling. And I think that's remarkable, Ray. That's remarkable. Makes sense why you went and busted your ankle. You just wanted to feel again, feel some life again, right?
Yeah, chasing 2 dogs.
am I even alive? Crack. I guess I am still alive. let's do it a different way next time, right?
The pain of exercise. So
that's what I would say that your soul and body and being is asking for to get you out of the box.
yes, in the moment.
You do it until you don't anymore, and then you ask again. All right, what in this do I feel life? Okay?
Yes.
And it'll build, and it'll build, and it'll build, and it'll build, and you'll have trust. And then those things that kind of sink you a little bit, well, now you'll be able to find those parts that raise you, and you might not attract them anymore after that, because that's not what you're needing.
Okay.
Okay.
That works. Thank you.
Yeah. I think this was really good. We tortured you a little bit on this. You're like, I just had a simple question, Ruth. Why'd you have to go and drag me through the test?
Well, I've only had the opportunity to do one-on-one with you. And you didn't show much mercy then either. So.
You're tough. You're tough.
so
We
awesome,
love you.
Bro.
Thank you for coming
you.
on. Thank you so much. And these processes that we kind of drug Ray through, because he's strong enough to do it, and he's a remarkable, remarkable man. And he honestly is asking, how can I do this? And you're the type of person that deciphers really well. And so somebody can't just tell you something to go do. You got to feel part of it. You got to understand what that is. Is that really for me, or is that just like cliche, go do this, you know?
Trend.
Right.
Yeah.
As you're working with you, and as we're giving this gift to our viewers, you get to find what works for you and allow yourself to commit to small, actionable steps. Find the question of your heart, and then ask the question in a simple form and move forward with it. Take it easy and recommit. So I want to say a whole lot more, but we got to close it out. Okay. I love you. Thank you. Thank you, viewers. All right.